Aside from the challenges faced and the geopolitical and economic effects on countries and the world, there is a gleaming hope that life can be made easier for more transparency and for reliability of services. This is being done with a reliance on information technology, innovation, and digital transformation. One of the major challenges in the development process is enhancing transparency and combating corruption. This is why a move towards digitalization is being energetically pursued. Yet with advancement, there is a dire need to address the effects, and with all new inventions, there are pros and there are cons. How to maximize the pros and minimize the adverse effects also presents a daring task which can only be addressed by those knowledgeable and those experienced enough to take on the task of making the world a better place. Good evening. You're watching the Business Insider here on Now TV International, and I'm Ayman Salah. Our weekly program aims to bring you the events and tackle the events affecting economies and business, and we aim to bring you the inside story. Starting with the week's first news item, Egypt's wheat imports are expected to drop to their lowest level in 9 years due to the Russia-Ukraine war. Officials said the country will produce more wheat domestically, expecting it to rise to 8.9% year-on-year on the back of an increase in the total harvest area. The government has increased a range of incentives, including raising prices and introducing mandatory quotas to increase local production this year. The Supply Ministry hopes to purchase between 5 to 6 million tons of local wheat in the upcoming season beginning April. France has said it will stand by Egypt on wheat and make sure we get what we need if the war in Ukraine drags on, while the Supply Minister confirmed talks with India, Argentina and the US for more. The e-receipt system kicks off in April, according to the Finance Ministry, to complement the wider e-invoicing system or e-invoicing program. The program involves installing sales data controllers in all payment processing systems used by retailers and wholesalers to monitor and record all tax-relevant transactions. The system aims to help the tax authority monitor and verify all commercial transactions of goods and services between taxpayers and consumers in real time and combats tax evasion while reducing the size of the informal economy. Over 52,000 companies have so far registered on the system, with more than 43,000 of whom have activated their accounts. The system has so far detected over 17,000 cases of tax evasion worth more than 6 billion Egyptian pounds for the Treasury. We'll be back. Report. Welcome back to the Business Insider. Tonight I'm joined by Dr. Mohamed Khlief. He's the Innovation and Digital Transformation Consultant and also the board member in the Information Technology Research Council. A pleasure to have you on the show here tonight. And since we're discussing blockchain use and intellectual property rights, you are the person for this issue. Let's watch this report and then start our discussion.
A blockchain is a distributed database that is shared among the nodes of a computer network that stores information electronically in digital format. It is best known for the crucial role in cryptocurrency systems such as Bitcoin. The innovation with a blockchain is that it guarantees the fidelity and security of a record of data and generates trust without the need for a trusted third party. Simply put, it is the foundation of immutable ledgers of records of transaction that cannot be altered, deleted, or destroyed. One key difference between a typical database and a blockchain is how the data is structured. A blockchain collects information together in groups known as blocks that hold sets of information with certain storage capacities and, when filled, are closed and linked to the previously filled block, forming a chain of data known as a blockchain. It is a type of shared database that differs from a typical one in the way that it stores information. Different types of information can be stored on a blockchain, but the most common use so far has been a ledger for transactions. First proposed as a research project in 1991, the blockchain concept predated its first widespread application and use, which is Bitcoin in 2009. Currently, tens of thousands of projects are looking to implement blockchains in a variety of ways to help society, other than just recording transactions. Perhaps no industry stands to benefit from integrating blockchain into its business operations more than banking, since financial institutions only operate during business hours, while blockchain, on the other hand, never sleeps. Healthcare providers can also leverage blockchain to securely store their patients' medical records. Property records can also be stored with total accuracy. Smart contracts, supply chains, voting, and other utilization can benefit from this technology. Basically, it can improve accuracy by removing human involvement in verification, reduce cost by eliminating third-party verification, decentralize, guarantee security and efficiency. However, there is a significant technology cost associated with it and can be used for illicit activities.
Welcome back to the Business Insider. I have the pleasure to be joined by Dr. Mohamed Khlief, Innovation and Digital Transformation Consultant and Board Member of the Information Technology Research Council, to discuss blockchain use and intellectual property rights. Once again, a pleasure having you on the show here tonight.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Digital transformation is a major initiative embarked on by governments to address challenges. Yeah. Blockchain stands to be understood, first of all. How would you explain it in layman's terms?
Okay. Blockchain, if we are talking about any information technology systems that run any organization, such as ERP, accounting applications, customer relationship management applications, any applications that run any organization is based mainly on a database. And traditionally, these databases were what we call centralized databases. What is the difference between centralized and decentralized database? Centralized databases are controlled by an administrator, by someone who has the privilege to even add or edit or do any kind of change to this database, and this puts a risk in changing the records. For example, if you are voting, for example, if you have an application for voting in a chamber or any sort of application, and you have this application totally built on a centralized database, then you can suspect that someone, a hacker, or someone on purpose can change your vote. But when using the blockchain, it is totally different. Blockchain introduces the decentralized databases. Decentralized databases is totally different than the traditional databases we know. It is basically running on thousands of servers instead of one server.
Simultaneously.
Exactly. And all of these servers, they have copies of the whole information, so we can simulate it, or we can think of these copies as backups. So no one ever will be able to terminate the reality or the original version. We will have always the original version, and because it is running on so many servers. So here we have the second part, which is security. It is more secure. It is totally dependent on security algorithms, which is very difficult to hack, and that's why. And since it is secure and it is running on thousands of servers, that's why an attempt to hack a blockchain needs a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of attackers doing an attack simultaneously, and they have to be controlling the whole network, which is very difficult because the network of blockchain, of a public blockchain, is geographically located in very distant places
around the world.
Exactly. That's why it is very difficult to hack a blockchain database, which is reflecting, or this is one of things that we call Web 3.0. This is a revolution in technology, in digital technology, and it is one of the biggest or the hottest technologies in the world that will drive digital transformation to the next level.
All right. So basically, what you're saying is that it's immutable.
Exactly.
It's very difficult, exactly. and it's verified through the different networks. It is only perceived as Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. How would we make use of the blockchain technology? What fields can use the blockchain technology?
This is one of the most confused terms around the information technology domain. People think of when you say blockchain, people think of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. The Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are built on top of blockchain, but blockchain is a technology that can be used in all industries. In all industries, I can say. Let me explain a use case of using blockchain. One of them is the voting mechanism I told you about. Another example is related to digital content. If you have, if you are an author and you have your own book and you want to distribute this book online to your audience for millions of people, simply people will copy the PDF. Once you distribute it once, you have no control on distribution of this PDF or this document. But if it is totally under control of blockchain, we can create what we call a smart contract. A smart contract is one of the applications on top of blockchain. In a smart contract, people come to the blockchain platform and they agree on certain terms. It's like a contract. It's like a normal contract. So in our case, people who want to read this book, they have to agree on terms of using and not copying and not distributing this PDF, etc. And if they try to share this PDF or this book across to others, the blockchain will check the smart contract. Are you eligible for distributing this PDF or not? If you are not eligible for distributing this PDF,
based on the smart contract.
Exactly, you will not be allowed to share the PDF or print it or do any kind of thing like this.
So that's to safeguard the copyright.
Exactly,
the intellectual property.
And this is a huge industry. If we are talking about the printing industry worldwide, it is $400 billion. In the Arab world, we are talking about $1 billion. It is a huge industry, and this industry, we can say it can be doubled or tripled if we apply blockchain technology. And introducing our main competitive advantage as in Egypt, I would say, is our heritage. We have a lot of things. We have our art. We have our literature. We have too many things that we need to protect. And the blockchain is one of things that we can use to protect our heritage, our art, cultural, I would say cultural products. And cultural products, by the way, people often think of cultural products as only books or literature, but also we have cultural products in handmade crafts. Also, we can the different proverbs related to the Egyptian culture. It is the domain for cultural heritage is huge, and this industry is making a lot of money. If you are talking about UK, for example, yearly they have about 91 billion British pound is the total size of this industry. What we call it in expression, it is called creative industry. And it is one of the most important industries for the US. So how come we are not benefiting right now from all the Egyptian cultural heritage until now? This is a big question that we need to answer and to use try to use the technology to benefit from
We'll get
this.
into that in more detail, but you said that blockchain technology can be used in voting.
Yeah.
Blockchain technology can be used in finance.
Yeah, exactly.
Blockchain technology can be used in intellectual property rights. What other fields? I was reading something about supply chain.
Exactly. Yeah.
For example, agricultural products.
Exactly.
How does this fit into that?
Yeah. For supply chain, it is currently being used in US for tracking all shipments from one city to another. So if one shipment is transferred from one city to another, it is under a smart contract. And if people who are delivering this product or this shipment, they are not following the smart contract rules, then it will be automatically rejected by the recipient. So this is one of things that can control and add value in terms of quality of products being transferred. You can imagine if you are transferring a medicine or a drug from one place to another, and under certain weather conditions, the drug is totally messed up. In this case, we might have the drug as a toxic material, and this is it is about 10% of the total world death related to drugs are because of this reason.
The storage and handling.
Yeah.
So basically, the traceability.
Yes.
You are able to trace. I still, the blockchain component is not set in my mind. How, let's take for example agriculture.
Okay.
There's a crop that is being grown, and it is distributed or supplied first of all, then distributed, then it is sold in the market. How do I trace this line by using the blockchain technology?
You are using, for each crop, you are registering on the blockchain its field, the farmer, the conditions under which this crop has been raised, and so many details about the crop itself, and you are collecting all these information using Internet of Things and other technologies, and we put all these data on blockchain. Once it is on blockchain, it cannot be altered, it cannot be changed.
Right. So how can we here in Egypt benefit from this technology, and how do you promote investments in this technology?
I think one of the most used use cases for the blockchain is the use of blockchain in financial sector. When you are transferring money from one place to another, you have to pay a lot of money by transferring from one entity to another. By using the blockchain, you are canceling the intermediaries, and that's why the cost of transferring money will be much less. The same concept can be used for exporting, for importing, for following applying this technology can
reduce
cost and allow us as a government to control from the start what to import and what to export. And this is very important and it is giving us the opportunity to have a huge data for our decision-making support and for our planning, what we excel in, what we fail in. This is very important, and blockchain provides a trustworthy way to record all transactions in a very scalable way.
With the digital transformation that is going on, is blockchain embedded in this transformation?
When we are talking about the digital transformation, we are talking about three different phases. The first phase is called the digitization. Digitization is about organizing information and digitizing data. The second phase is called digitalization, which is related mainly to how we streamline processes and how we automate the processes. The third level, which is digital transformation, which is umbrella under which we have digitization and digitalization. We are looking for optimizing processes and trying to link different dimensions, technology, culture, community, workplace, and talents, etc., to drive economic prosperity and competitiveness. So digital transformation need a tool to transform all this into an economic impact. Blockchain is one of the leading technologies that can be used to achieve this economic prosperity and the impact. And that's why it is called Web 3.0, because it is the next internet for so many people. We have the term also, the metaverse right now. It's a trend, and part of the metaverse is blockchain. How people are exchanging data, how people are exchanging products inside the metaverse. It's totally based on blockchain technology. So blockchain is at the heart of all digital transformation initiatives worldwide. And that's why we need to have capacity building programs to build talents in this direction and encourage Egyptian startups to use blockchain to solve problems or challenges we are facing here in Egypt. And the potential is huge.
What are the challenges?
Finding the talents.
One.
Also, we need clear regulations to instead of forbidding what we call or preventing technology, we need to regulations to improve the use of technology for the benefit of the country. And this is very important part of our role of our parliament, is to encourage using these kind of technologies for the benefit of the economic impact and customer, our citizen satisfaction, especially in digital services, etc.
Is it not encouraged because of the perception of the cryptocurrencies?
Yes, this is part of the confusion. People often, when they hear blockchain, and I have faced this myself, because I'm leading, I'm helping a lot of startups in deploying blockchain technologies. And when we say we are using blockchain, people often
it's a taboo.
It's a taboo. But with time and by educating people and saying that this is totally different than cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, and it is legal. It is legal to develop applications on top of blockchain if you are solving
So if you were
challenges.
to advise them and say the blockchain technology can help safeguard our cultural heritage, how would you explain it?
If you are talking about, for example, let me put a real example. We all heard about metaverse, okay, and we all have heard that metaverse will have places and virtual places, virtual lands, virtual. One of things that are rising very much, and it is dangerous. Is a lot of companies now in the West are developing what we call a simulation for the pyramids, for our temples, for our monuments. And
so instead of coming to visit,
Exactly.
you'd be sitting in your living
Exactly.
room and experiencing the trip.
Yeah. So what is the main solution for this kind of application is to be able to register our intellectual properties, to be able to have our own blockchain for IB, including all monuments, including all cultural heritage products. This definitely will help us to claim or fight such piracy. And this is very important to our wealth and for our future. And one of things I would say, let me put it in a very simple words. If you are an author and you are having your own creation of a novel or something, in a traditional printing, you will never know how many books have been sold by the publisher, unless it is under blockchain.
And smart contracts.
Exactly.
So basically what one can say in wrapping up is that we can turn technologies for our benefit to safeguard our heritage, our intellectual property, our treasures, whether we're talking about monuments, whether we're talking about ancient old movies, whether we're talking about novels, history, and so on and so forth. And this in turn will be translated into billions and billions of dollars safeguarded for the country. Dr. Mohamed Khlief, Innovation and Digital Transformation Consultant and Board Member of the Information Technology Research Council, thank you very much for shedding light on this very important topic. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you for being with us here tonight. I'm Ayman Salah. Good night.